yeah. Who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go. I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah. Who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go.
Yo, bro, what's good, everybody? It's WillSoTrill, man. In today's video, I'm bringing y'all a straight banger collab, bro, with my boy Peter, or Peter MC, whatever you want to call him, man. Make sure you go check out his channel down below in the description. He posts NBA 2K content as well as streams it daily, and he's on the grind to 100,000 subs, man. So if you're watching this video and you're not sub, be sure to go over there and sub to my man Peter, bro. I guarantee y'all will enjoy his content, bro, because he be dropping straight bangers, yo, just like me, But hey, what we doing in today's video is ranking every single park in NBA 2K history from worst to best. Now, we are not ranking these parks based on gameplay. We just ranking these parks on how good they look and how much unique features they have. You know, what makes this park unique and all that. But hey, bro, that's enough talking. Let's go and get right into it, bro. I'm gonna let Peter start this off, yo. Let's get it.
Alright, so coming in at the worst park of all time, we actually had the NBA 2K18 playground, man. This park is so trash. It's just boring, you know. You have these terrible colors, the whole park is just gray, and then you have these brown buildings surrounding it. It just looks boring. And not only that, there is nothing really special to play at this park. You know, you have 6 3s courts, 2 2s courts, which are in the middle of nowhere. Like, you have to cross the whole park just to play 2s. There's no 1v1, no 21, no 4v4, not even 5v5, even though the 2s courts, if you put them together, they're pretty much a 5v5 court, but they just haven't done anything with it. And also, this is the only park 2K gave us this year, so we are forced to look at this every single day. You know, every time we play park. Before, we'd have options. You know, if you didn't like Rivet, go to Sunset, or vice versa. But nope, not this year. Coming in at the worst park, the 2K18 playground.
Alright, yo, next up we got the NBA 2K18 House Rules Park. Now, this is back-to-back NBA 2K18 parks on here, yo. This is another one of those bland parks in NBA 2K18, just like the regular playground. I'm telling y'all right now, bro, this 2K18 color palette is just trash. I mean, look at here, bro. You got a little bit of browns, you got a little bit of beige, you got a little bit of gray in here, and then you got that small hint of red. I don't know what else to say, man. This park just looks extremely boring. There is no good colors to it. And that is the problem with most parks in NBA 2K18. Well, the few parks in NBA 2K18, because there aren't really a big variety of them. I must say, I like how it's an indoor park. I think that's dope. I think there should be a little bit of 2s courts in there. But anyway, the reason this park is ranked so low is because of how bland and boring it looks. So let's move on.
Alright, next up we have the 2K16/2K17 Old Rivet Park. Now, the reason why I say 2K16 and 2K17, as you guys can see, is that they're basically the same park. You know, they recycled the park, and in this video we're going to consider all of the recycled parks basically the same as the original, because they pretty much are. So like I said, we have the Old Rivet Park. Now, this park, pretty similar to the 2K18 playground, you know, where all the courts are like a lot of gray, but it isn't nearly as bad. And also, 2K got really creative with this park. They put it in like a metal factory. Like, it's really weird, but really creative at the same time. Also, they faded the lines out so it looked more like a Rivet kind of park. And also, this park didn't last too long in 2K16 because Rivet won the Rival Day Championship and got their new park, so that's what makes it cool as well. And in 2K17, they pretty much made the same thing, except for the floors were now wood. Not the best park, but still a pretty decent park, so that's what comes up next.
Next up, we have the Rivet City Rough Riders park from NBA 2K15. The thing I actually like about this park right here is it actually has a realistic setting to a basketball court in real life. As you can see, it's located in the downtown area. The courts are faded, it looks worn down. That's the thing I like about this. It's very realistic to a court in real life. On the concrete court, there is a little bit of graffiti in some places as well. 2K put a lot of attention to detail in this park right here. Now, it does remind me some of that NBA 2K15 playground because it's great, but the thing about the 2K15 great, it looks more saturated, bro. It just looks more colorful than the 2K18 park. The color correction on 2K18 is just trash. But then again, with the 2K18 playground, there isn't as much attention to detail as there is with this 2K15 Rivet City Park.
Alright, next up we have the 2K16/2K17 Old Town Park. Now, when this park was first introduced in 2K16, it was super creative. You know, when 2K16 came out, all of these parks were extremely different, extremely creative, unrealistic, but people liked them anyway. It was pretty much in an amusement park, which was really cool. And it also brought that rare nighttime element that the 2K15 new Old Town Park had. The colors on this park were also really good. You know, out of all the parks we've mentioned so far, this one by far had the best colors. You know, it wasn't bland at all. We had nice green courts, all these lights surrounding us. The only thing that was annoying about this park was like the screaming from the roller coasters. And also, this park got the least amount of change when they brought it back for 2K17. You know, they added some stuff to the amusement park and barely changed the colors. But other than that, Old Town, pretty cool, pretty decent park.
Next up, we have the NBA 2K15 stage. Now, this is another park that just looks sort of bland in my opinion. You just look at it, bro. It's got that dark gray, it's got that maroon faded color, it's got that faded green. I'm just not too high on this color palette. I mean, at least it's not all gray, you know, that would be even worse. But I mean, you know, at least they added some maroon and some green into it. That's what ultimately ranks this park higher than the Rivet Park as well as the 2K18 park. It's bland, but it's just not all gray bland, you know. Now, one thing I really do like about this NBA 2K15 stage, it is actually on top of a building. That is its location, and it's also at nighttime, so it looks really dope. It's got some nice surroundings, bro. As you can see, you got the skyscrapers in the background over here, and ultimately I think this is a really nice park. I would rank it higher, but it's just that bland color on the court. That's the only problem I have with it.
All right, next up we have the OG, the first My Park ever created, the 2K14 My Park. Now, this park blew people's minds when it first came out because 2K had never done something like this before. They never had a My Park mode, and also it was the first 2K on next gen, so it really showed what 2K could do with this new console, you know, way more powerful. The only thing that was kind of weird was that the score was actually projected to the side of the court, as you guys can see here. But this park looked really good, especially for the first ever My Park. You know, it was colorful, you had this city around, you had this road with all these cars, a lot better than the 2K18 playground, considering that this was also the only park they had this year. But not only that, this park had a 5v5 court, which we would never get back in an actual park. We got it back in the rec center, but they never brought this back, which makes this park a little bit more special. 2K14, honestly, a great park.
Next up, we have NBA 2K18 stage. Unlike the stage from NBA 2K15, this is actually an indoor court. It is not on a rooftop. Now, even though this is the third NBA 2K18 park that has missed out on the top 10, I still think that this court right here is actually low-key dope. Yo, the wood floors on this thing look nice, they shining and all that, bro. And even off of the course, like the pathway where your player walks, I think that's clean. I think it complements the wood floor course really well. But yeah, I think this is definitely a underrated park in NBA 2K18. I think it looks really well. I think the different shades of wood, they complement each other well. The red and white court lines go together with everything really well, and I think overall the NBA 2K18 stage is a underrated park, but it's just barely not enough to reach that top 10.
Next up, we have the 2K16/2K17 stage. Now, this looks really good. I really like this park. It was interesting. It was different from all the other parks. It was quiet. It was just this like big basketball thing in the city, and it was meant to look like this high-end place where, you know, people would play for VC, or where really good people would play. You had these wood courts with these shiny lights on them, and you had these like carpeted areas surrounding it, and this is where a lot of people could go to play. You know, in 2K16 it was the only place people could play with people outside of their affiliation. They had 21, they had 2s, they had 3s, they had 4s, they had a bunch of different VC amounts. And in 2K17 it was pretty much the same thing. They just changed up the colors a little bit. You know, the wood was a little bit lighter and the carpet was blue, and you also had high rollers. But yeah, 2K16 stage, really cool park. I really liked it. Comes in just after the 2K18 stage.
Next up, we have the Sunset Beach Park from NBA 2K15. This park was located on a beach. At the entrance of the park, you had hotels and other buildings surrounding you, and at the very back of the park, you had a view of the beach in the background. The scenery surrounding this park, I actually liked. It did remind me a lot of those real life parks that are on the beach. Now, in terms of the actual court, it was just purely great. The courts were great, and the pathways to walk, that was also great. The outlines around the court was actually kind of a beigeish brown, you know. But overall, what made this park as great as it was just simply the background, the surroundings, man. It was dope. You had palm trees everywhere. Just the overall really nice park from NBA 2K15.
Alright, next up we have the 2K15 Old Town/2K17 Mountain Dew tournament. Now, this park was classic. You know, it was a very cool park, but also kind of realistic at the same time. It was on the water. You had the skyline in the background, you had the bridge there, you had the cars going by. There was just a lot going on, but at the same time, the park just wasn't too crazy. The colors were nice, you know, it looked like somewhere you would want to play in real life. And in 2K17, they didn't change too much. They barely changed it at all. They just made it a little bit more green to fit that, you know, Mountain Dew theme. In 2K15, eventually this park was taken out for the new Old Town Fire Park because, you know, they won the My Park Championship. But out of this Sunset and Rivet in 2K15, this was definitely the best out of the three.
Next up, we have the NBA 2K15 High Rollers, which basically was the exact same thing as the stage from NBA 2K15 in terms of the surroundings. You had the same skyscrapers in the distance, you know, it was on a rooftop, basically the same thing. It was just the courts were different and much improved. Not only did you have the High Rollers logo slapped onto the side of the court near the 3-point line, but the court used a good mix of black, red, and gold. You had the painted area primarily red, the mid-range area was black, and the 3-point area was red as well. And that was all divided up with some gold lines, bro. It was just a great color scheme, and it's really what the NBA 2K15 regular stage was missing. It was just missing that great court color scheme that would have made it top tier, and that's exactly what the High Rollers court had, and that's why it's so much better than the stage. And it's pretty obvious, you know, you should expect that because the High Rollers, it has more VC on the line than the regular stage. But yeah, that is the NBA 2K15 High Rollers, a really dope park from NBA 2K15.
Alright, so next up we have the new Old Town from 2K15 / House Rules from 2K17 / Rival Day from 2K17. Yes, they recycled this park not once, but twice. But even though they did do that, this park is still a great park. I thought it was a really cool first park for, you know, the first Rival Day Championship report. It was the first time that we actually had a nighttime park, so that was a whole new element there. And it was on the water. It was this kind of dock thing, but it also had these like helicopters and jets, and you had the skyline in the background, you had the bridge. It was really cool, and at the same time the colors were still pretty decent. You know, you had the green courts, you had all the lights in the background, you had the lights that were actually shining on the courts. I mean, it was just really cool. And when they did recycle this for 2K17, you know, the first time, all they really did was change the color of the courts to like this bluish color, and then for the Rival Day it was like a maroon color. But other than that, the Old Town 2K15 court was definitely one of the best parks from 2K15.
Next up, bro, to start off the top 5 parks in NBA 2K history, we have the Sunset Beach Park from NBA 2K16. This park right here is so creative. Now we talking a giant fish tank in a basketball park. Now, it makes no sense at all. It sounds extremely stupid, but I don't know what it was. It was just a really creative idea from 2K, and I just think that even though it was unrealistic, it just worked. It made the park look better. It added another element to it. This park was also located on basically like a water resort. You know, you had people going down a giant water slide. It had some interesting surroundings, and the color scheme of the park was low-key nice too. It was kind of this beigeish, brownish color, and the thing is, it wasn't dull or bland at all, so the color scheme was low-key nice. You also had those signature green outlines, you know, for the Sunset court. But just like with Sunset in 15, I think the surroundings of this park is truly what makes it great. Just the overall really nice scenic park, bruh. Sunset 16 is definitely a great park.
Alright, so now that we have gotten into the top 5 parks, coming in at number 4, we have the Mountain Dew Park from 2K18. What? A 2K18 park in the top 5? Yes, dude, this park is actually really cool. It's indoors. It has these bright green courts. You know, the colors really pop out. The only problem with it is that the courts are half courts. I don't know whose idea it was to make Mountain Dew half court, but other than that, I mean, this park is really cool. By far the best park that we got in 2K18. Another thing is that it's really limited, so you don't get to see it too much, which means it doesn't get old. But I think 2K did get pretty creative with this park, and it comes in at number 4.
Next up, we have the Park After Dark from NBA 2K17. Now, let me make this clear. I'm not talking about the success of the event, because the event was very unsuccessful. The lag was horrible. I'm just talking about the features that the park had and how good it looked and all of that. Now this is a very unique park. There is no other park in NBA 2K history that is like this park. It's basically an indoor park with all of the lights turned off, and the lines on the basketball courts as well as the base on the basketball hoop, that was all neon glowing colors. Everything like that was neon glowing colors. Everything else was just pure black. You couldn't see anything else except these neon colors. The thing about this park, it only was around 3 times last year in NBA 2K17 because there was only 3 park after dark events. So there is probably some of you watching this video that did not experience park after dark, and the park, it looked great, I must say. This park featured 4 3-on-3 courts as well as a dunk contest and a 3-point contest, and the park after dark is the only park in NBA 2K history where you can actually play a 3-point contest as well as a dunk contest game mode. And in the middle of the 3-on-3 course, in the middle of the 4 3-on-3 course was a huge stage, and on this stage you would have the special guests, which, you know, was Future one time. There was other special guests, but you would have these special guests on that stage performing, you know, DJ and all that. And overall, this park was designed really well. It's one of the dopest parks, which is why this park ranks so high. It's just unfortunate that the event didn't work out too well with the servers and everything.
Alright, coming in at number 2, you guys knew this had to be high up on the list. We have the Jordan Rec Center from 2K15. This is by far the most highly requested park to bring back. You know, we were all complaining that they recycle all of the parks from 2K16 into 2K17, but I don't think people will be complaining if they brought the Jordan Rec Center back, because this park was amazing. It was just something we'd never seen before. It was full 5v5 gameplay. It was the first indoor park. You could get your squad and just play this all day and never got old, and it was honestly a really cool looking park. Like, if they had something like this in real life, it would be amazing, dude. Like, oh my gosh, I wish there was something like this in real life. But honestly, an amazing park. We don't know if they're ever gonna bring this back. Some of you guys might have thought this would be number 1, but it's actually something different.
Hey yo, we finally made it to the number 1 spot, the best park of all time in NBA 2K history. We have the Rivet City Rough Rider Park from NBA 2K16. No, not the regular one, not the regular one at all. We're talking about the park that they won for winning the My Park Championship. The park that was attached to 2 skyscrapers on both sides, and nothing was under it. It was just attached to both of those towers. This park did have the exact same layout as the old town from 2K16, which, I mean, where the 2s and 3s courts were placed. And one really dope thing about this park, bro, the walkways where you would walk if you're just going around seeing what course you want to go to, that was glass. That was glass, and you could see what was under you. And then the color scheme of the park was just spot on. You know, it had the blue courts, and you could even see the skyscrapers around you, and you could even see the ocean, bro. You could look out there and see the ocean and the beach. Hey, bro, maybe that's where NBA 2K16 Sunset Beach is placed. Who knows? But yeah, bro, this Rivet City Park is undoubtedly the best park in NBA 2K history. It was just such a good design, bro. The 2K devs, when they made this, they really went crazy. They went in. But yeah, yo, that's the best park in NBA 2K history, the Rivet City Rough Rider Park in NBA 2K16 that they got for winning the My Park Championship. Yo, so that wraps it up for today's video. If you did reach this point of the video, make sure you go ahead and comment loyal down below in the comments section, because if you made it this far, you was a real loyal. So yeah, bro, make sure you go ahead and spam up the loyal in the comment section so I can see who my true supporters are, bro. But anyway, I hope y'all did enjoy the video, bro. Me and Peter put a lot of work into this, bro. We have been planning this video for a long time, and I'm finally like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get this over with. Let's get this, bro, because this video did take a lot of work and editing, man. So many hours put in on this, but it's so worth it because I made a banger video for my loyal subscribers, man, and that's worth it, bro. I love bringing y'all new content. But yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my boy Peter. Yo, his link is down below in the description. He's very active on YouTube. He posts great content. He streams high quality, bro. He is just a great YouTuber, man. Y'all need to check him out. And if there's any other YouTubers y'all want to see me collab with, make sure you go ahead, comment that down below, man, because I am down to collab with anybody, bro. Just as long as you can make high quality content. I don't care about your sub count, man. Just hit me up on Twitter if you do want to collab. But hey, bro, that's wrapping up the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to go ahead and drop a like on it. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on notifications so you never miss any banger content. But hey, bro, that's all I got for y'all in today's video. I am out. Peace.